Hey there guys, my name is Marissa. Welcome back to Marissa Roams. If you're new to the channel, starting very soon in April, I will be setting out to attempt a northbound through hike of the Appalachian Trail. And this is the long-awaited video. This will be my complete gear list. Everything I'm taking with me, starting out from Georgia to Maine. So let's get started. All right, so starting out, let's talk about my worn weight. So this includes my clothes as well as things that I will be carrying on my person. Exactly. So we'll start out with clothes. We'll start, I guess, from the bottom to the top. So we've got my trail runners. We are sticking with the Topo Terra Ventures. So far, so good. No blisters, no issues. I get a little bit of soreness after, a certain number of miles, but I think that is to be expected. So we're sticking with them. If we have any issues, we can change on trail, but this is what we're starting with. All right, and with those, I will be wearing Darn Tough socks. These are the quarter length ones. I will not be wearing Injinjis. Like I said, I don't really have an issue with blisters. If that arises, then I may pick up Injinjis along the way, but hasn't been necessary for me so far. All right, and then I have underwear. I will be wearing the ex officio underwear, and I will also be carrying an extra pair. And then I have the REI Merino bralette. That is the bra that I will be wearing. I was wearing some sports bras that I already had, but the racer back actually really cut into me, especially while wearing the pack, so I knew I wanted to change to something different. And since I had to get something different anyway, I figured might as well get something merino wool so it wouldn't smell so bad. So I've worn this a couple times already. So far so good. All right, and then we have the Nara pants. So all of my clothing I've already talked about in a clothing video before, so that's why I'm going pretty quickly. These are the Nara pants. I'm actually gonna have a full review coming out on these soon. If you don't recall, or if you haven't watched my clothing video, these pants are very special in that they actually have a zipper below the normal fly zipper. So it makes going to the bathroom on trail a little bit easier, a little bit less stressful for those of us who, usually have to drop trousers to go to the bathroom. So very happy with these. Couldn't imagine wearing a different pair of pants. And then we have the Mountain Hardwear Crater Lake Sun hoodie. I do like this hoodie because it is lighter weight than the other ones I have, but I will say feature-wise, it's not my absolute favorite. I don't like that I can't really cinch the hood. I don't really like that you can cinch the bottom. That string does not come out and it constantly comes untied and it gets caught on everything. So that's obnoxious, but it is lighter weight than my REI Sun hoodie. So ultimately I think it's worth it and it is very comfortable. And yeah, like I said, much thinner than my REI one. Then I have the classic, every thru hiker, female thru hiker especially, has the AT buff. Thank you to Caitlin and Alex for getting this, as well as a couple other items on my wish list for me. I really, really appreciate that. This has already come in so handy. Yeah, love having a buff. I will also be wearing a neck knife. This is the neck knife from MT Knives. And so I will have that around my neck. And then my last item I'm counting as worn weight are my trekking poles. So these are the Cascade Mountain Tech trekking poles with the cork handles. Got them on Amazon. I think everyone's heard about these. People say they're $50. I got them for $20. I've never seen them for more than $20. And I know that I may get what I paid for, but I've been using them since December, and I have definitely been putting my full weight on them, and I haven't had any issues so far. I knew I wanted the cork handles because I just knew that the foam would get gross and uncomfortable. And so this is what I went with. I also have a hair tie wrapped around here because taking a cue from Appalachian Adventurista last year, she did not have a tripod. She used a hair tie on a trekking pole to be her tripod. And I just really, one, don't like the tripod that I have all that much, and don't really want to carry 5 ounces for a piece of gear that I don't love. So my tripod will be staying at home, and we will be using the trekking poles as a tripod. I do acknowledge that means you probably won't get to see some of me setting up camp because my trekking poles will also be in my tent. But I'm paying the price. I don't really want to carry a tripod, so I'm not going to. All right. Next up are the big 3. I've already done a video on this. There have been some changes to the big 3, but I did post a gear swap video about that, so you can reference those. I will show you briefly what I have. I have the REI Flash 55. Love this pack. It's decently lightweight. I know it's not ultralight. I am not an ultralighter, as you will see, and I'm okay with that. I'm comfortable with my pack weight, and this is the pack that I have chosen, and it holds all my gear so well. I love the forward-facing water bottle pockets. Yeah, don't regret this choice. I'll also talk about a couple things that are hanging on the outside of my pack. I have half of a bandana that will be tied to the strap for snot, sweat, the occasional bloody nose, because that sometimes happens to me. So we've got this. And then we have my Zoleo, which is my satellite messenger. It is heavier than the Garmin InReach Mini 2, but this is what was in the budget, and it works just as well. I don't have any issues with it. So that is my satellite messenger. And then I also have my Kula cloth. So this I actually have clipped to my hip belt. So with this and the Nara pants, if I have to go to the bathroom, I can just step right off trail, keep my pack on, squat, wipe, go. I also have my hand sanitizer connected to it, so I am always ready. So that is my pea cloth. All right. Next up in the big 3 is my tent. So this is one of the gear items that I switched out. I started with the Cloud Up 1, and that worked okay. There were some user errors for sure, but ultimately I wasn't super comfortable in that tent. It was pretty short. It angled back, and so I just felt like I was always touching the sidewalls, and I didn't love that feeling. So I knew I kind of wanted to switch tents anyway, and when I made the switch to the Bear Vault, which I addressed in my gear swap video, I knew I wanted to cut weight. So I ended up going with the tent that I wanted to begin with, which is the Durston X Mid. So far, I love it. Haven't had any issues. I would like there to be, more pockets inside, but I can manage. It's not a big deal. Definitely, even though it is more narrow than the tent that I had throughout, it feels more spacious because of the big vestibules, because of the high ceilings. And yeah, I don't regret this switch at all. So happy with this choice. All right, and then next up is the sleep system. There was one change to the sleep system. I did have the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite women's version. That ended up just being a little too short for me, and I realized I didn't like the mummy style. Being someone who sleeps on my stomach, I found that my arms were either off the pad or underneath my body, which was not comfortable. So I did switch to the Nemo Tensor. This is the old version. They don't sell this anymore. I actually got this on REI Resupply. Here is the little tag ensuring that it was actually cleaned before I purchased, but I don't think this had ever been used. It's in great condition. So in here I have the pad, the repair kit, and then also my pad straps for still my most exciting piece of gear, the Enlightened Equipment Revelation. Thank you so much to Miranda Goes Outside and Garage Grown Gear. If you didn't know, I actually won this quilt in her 100,000 subscriber giveaway, and I could not be more grateful. This was the quilt I wanted but couldn't really afford. I was gonna get probably a synthetic quilt instead of a down, and no shame in that. I think the synthetic quilts are great. They're just heavier and bulkier. And so once again, thank you to Miranda for this piece of gear. I have loved it so far. I've used it many times on my shakedowns and just sleeping in my front yard, and so happy with this choice. So once again, thank you, Miranda. All right, next up, let's talk about the clothing that I will be taking on the trail. Once again, I did have a video on this. This will be the clothing that is packed in my bag. And so we'll go through this pretty quickly because I did already talk about this. There have been some small changes, but nothing major. So first off, we have my mid layer. This is the Senchi Designs Alpha Direct hoodie. Serves me well. It is warm but lightweight. I definitely think that it will be good to hike in. It is very thin, so I do know that you know, it does need to be paired with something when it's windy, but so far so good. Like the Senchi Designs hoodie. And then I have my puffy. This is the Enlightened Equipment Torrid. I got this on Poshmark secondhand, great condition. Love it. So warm, so lightweight. Happy with this choice. So those were my layers. In addition to, I have the Z-Packs possum down gloves. These are a little big on my hands. They do shed terribly, but they are very, very warm. I do not have rain mitts right now. I am hoping that I don't find them necessary, but if they do, you know, if it becomes a problem and I really am tired of wet, cold hands, honestly, I'm just gonna get some rubber gloves that you would use to wash dishes. I'm not above that. So that's that for now. I did end up switching out my beanie. I did have the Farpoint Outdoors Alpha Direct beanie, and it's a good beanie, but it was a little too big for my head. I just didn't find it that comfortable. It got twisted around a lot. And so even though it was incredibly lightweight and very nice, I did end up switching to the Outdoor Research Trail Mix beanie. This weighs in at like 1.4 ounces or something, so still pretty lightweight, and fits my head better. So happy with that change. We also have the Outdoor Research Visor. This will be used, you know, for sun when needed, but primarily it will be, you know, in the green tunnel. I'm mostly using it to wear with my rain gear, just to keep the rain off of my face. So I do have that. It's about an ounce. I will say it is possible that I will ditch this because, as I mentioned in my gear swap video recently, I did have a Red Camp poncho from Amazon. It did not work for me. I got very wet and it was just a pain. And I ended up switching to the Paca. I have used this in the rain once now. I just haven't been able to get out any more than that in the rain. But I did hike for about 3 hours in this and kept my pack pretty dry, kept my core dry. My arms were wet, but I will say that might have been because I waited to put this on until it was raining a bit heavier, and then also I was probably sweating a good bit. But so far I love this. It is lighter weight than Cedar Tree actually reports. This ended up weighing in at, let me check over here, at 11.7 ounces when they report that this weighs like 14 or 15 ounces. So thrilled when I put this on my scale and saw that it weighed 11.7. I actually found that the visor on this worked really well for me, and I didn't feel the need to put on the Outdoor Research visor. So if that continues to be the case and I don't find the visor necessary, that will get ditched. There just may be no need for it. But I'm going to start with it just to see, you know, if it's a light rain, I might just wear that to keep the rain off of my face. And once again, I'm not taking sunglasses, so the visor may come in handy on the few stretches of trail that are more open when it's not, you know, rainy. All right, so that is my rain system. Next, let's go to my sleep clothes. These I've already talked about in my clothing video. So I have the Patagonia Capilene Air leggings and top. These are a merino wool synthetic blend. They are lighter weight than your traditional merino wool layers. These retail for a lot of money, and I bought these secondhand on Poshmark and Mercari. Very thankful for those finds. Yes, lightweight, warm, like them. And then I am adding one more piece of clothing to my kit. I will have 2 extra pairs of socks. I will have one to sleep in and an extra pair to hike in. And as I mentioned earlier, talking about what I'll be wearing, I will have an extra pair of underwear as well. But with that being said, I decided to add a pair of biker shorts to the kit. I just went with a pair I found on Amazon, the lightest looking ones I could find. I chose these because I believe it was in Bad Bat's video, post trail. It may have been someone else, but I think it was her, that mentioned when you're doing laundry at a hostel and you're wearing loaner clothes, if you're washing your underwear, you don't have any underwear. And so I was already thinking about adding shorts, you know, to sleep in when it gets warmer, and also, you know, this can double as like swim bottoms if decide to, you know, hang out in a creek or something. But I also got these just as like a clean pair of something to wear against my body when I'm wearing loaner clothes. So those are the biker shorts. And my camp shoes, I have the Zero shoes, once again bought secondhand on Poshmark. I got these because they are incredibly lightweight and they pack down really small. I don't have an issue getting them off and on at camp. I know that slides would be, or Crocs would be easier, but they are also bulkier and probably a little bit heavier. So Zero shoes. All right, so next up is my kitchen. Yeah, so let's get started. I do have the Bear Vault 475, and the next time you see this, it will be covered in stickers. I just haven't had a chance yet. But yes, this is my Bear Vault 475. I did originally have the Z-Packs Bear Bag Kit. Great piece of gear, no issues with the gear, just user error. I came to the conclusion, as I mentioned in my gear swap video, that it is just gonna add extra stress to try and hang a bear bag every night, and ultimately I feel more comfortable using a bear can, and you know, it is highly recommended by the ATC and the National Forest Service, and so I made the switch and I don't regret it. I know a lot of people are telling me that, you know, this isn't the best choice and that it's too heavy, and you know, this will keep me from getting to Maine. I disagree, because I think if I am more comfortable and able to just roll into camp, and, you know, if I'm tired, I can just go to bed and I don't have to stress about hanging a beer bag. I think that having just that little extra stress each day will actually help me go further. But to each their own. I have no issues with beer bags if people choose to use those and can hang them correctly. By all means, go for it. But for me, I decided that this was the way to go, and I haven't had any issues with it in my pack. Last week, I hiked a total of 26 miles in 3 days, and had this in my pack the whole time. Fits well, not too heavy. Once again, I am happy with this gear change. And if I do change my mind, if I decide this is too heavy and I don't like it, I can always get my bear hang kit back. But we're starting with this, and I'm happy with that. I do have a gift card duct taped to the top to help open it. Once again, another tip from Appalachian Adventurista. I really appreciate that one. All right, so that is my food storage. Now, what will I be using to cook? I am very much a stove person. I will never be a cold soaker. I actually have some sensory issues, and temperature is probably one of my biggest issues. I am not good at eating cold food. And so, yes, we have a stove. So this is my pot. This is the only piece of gear, I think, that I am starting the trail with that I had before I decided to do the Appalachian Trail. So this is the Stanley stainless steel, like 750 ml cook pot, and it is not lightweight. And I know that. This thing is like almost 8 ounces. And I know I could shave a ton of weight by switching to a Tokes or whatever. But I love this thing. And yeah, it fits everything. I have my fuel in here, my stove in here, a bandana in here, a lighter in here, a little piece of Swedish dishcloth in here to dry out the thing. I love that it has the measurements on the side. I love that it's taller, so when I drink my coffee out of it, I'm not burning my lips because it's not so close to the flame. I love the handle, that it's long and it doesn't get hot when the water's been boiling. I love the lid. I like that it has the little drain holes, so if I decide to make pasta in here, I can drain it. I like that the handle closes over the lid and keeps everything intact. So yeah, is it heavy? Yes. Do I care? No. I'm keeping my Stanley cook pot. So once again, I have the little bit of Swedish dishcloth in here just to dry it out before I pack things away. I've got my Bic lighter. I have my BRS ultralight stove. I have no issues with it. I know some people have had issues with it and choose not to go this route, but so far so good. Got it wrapped up in a bandana there. And then I've got my fuel in there. It will come out, but it takes a little effort, so I'm not gonna do it right now, but fuel fits in there. So that is my cook system. I do also have this pouch. I will be doing freezer bag cooking. I don't want to deal with cleaning my pot on trail, so I will be cooking in Ziploc bags. It makes me cringe, but it's what we're doing. I did get this pouch from Garage Grown Gear. This is the Big Sky International medium. It weighs 1 ounce. And yes, I know I could have made one out of Reflectix, but then I would have to buy Reflectix because I don't have that sitting around. This was $15, and for me, it felt worth not having to buy a roll of Reflectix and make it for that price. I know some of these retail for like $50. That's ridiculous. I would never. But I did go with this just to help insulate my food, keep it warm, and help it cook. So that is my insulated pouch. I also have the Sea to Summit long handle spoon. Yeah, good for getting in those Ziploc bags and backpacker meals. Yeah, so that's my spoon. And then when it comes to water, I will be using the Sawyer Squeeze. I will be screwing it onto this Canuck. Heard it so many different ways, but I believe I was told Canuck was the correct way. We'll be screwing it onto this and filtering it into a smart water bottle. I also will have this small little Gatorade bottle for mixing up, drinks, electrolytes, whatnot, just so, because this is my drinking bottle and this is my dirty bottle, and so I want to be able to have water and like an electrolyte drink if I feel the need for that, which I definitely will need that. So that is my water system. Pretty simple. I'm not starting with a reservoir or a water bag of any kind. I could add that later on, but for now this is what we're doing. All right, next we have my bathroom kit. I have this little pouch from Hilltop Packs. In here is everything I need to go potty. I have some Dr. Bronner's in a little soap bottle here, or in a little squeeze bottle here. I have the Bogler Co. Trowel, incredibly lightweight, like that it has the serrated edges, and like that it has this little bit here so it's not as hard on your palm when you're pressing into the ground. So that is my trowel. I do have a bidet. This is the Culo Clean. I have not used this yet. It has not, since I've gotten it, I haven't had the opportunity. Nature has not called in that manner on any of my backpacking trips, unfortunately. I've really been looking forward to using this. I would like to use a bidet in my everyday life. But yes, so this will pop onto my dirty water bottle and I can use it that way. So once again, looking forward to using this. Haven't had the opportunity yet, but yes. So I will also have feminine hygiene products in here, a little bit of toilet paper in case that's necessary. I'm hoping between the Kula cloth and the bidet that I don't use a lot, but I also have some Wissy wipes. So these are compressed towelettes. You add water to them and then they become a wet wipe. And then I also have, a few wet wipes as well. Want to stay clean out there, faux show. So that is my bathroom kit. All right, and so I'm gonna talk about a couple small miscellaneous items before we get to my Diddy bag. I do have my wallet here, which is Hartford Gear Co. Just got my license and a couple cards in here. I'll have some cash, but probably not a lot. And then I also have the REI micro towel. I don't really know what it's called. Super lightweight, lighter even than the pack towels. And I just got this in case I need to dry off my tent, which I know I will have to do. But yeah, just to kind of get excess water away. So yeah, so that's that. Always like half an ounce. And then here we have the Diddy bag. This is the Hilltop Packs medium long. I needed the extra space, just gonna be real. So we'll start with my toiletries. This is what we got, not a lot. I have floss that double purposes as thread for gear repairs. I have a toothbrush that I am not going to be carrying a cut-off toothbrush or one of those little thumbprint ones because I don't want to stick my fingers in my mouth, even though I will be flossing, so I guess that's not true. I have toothpaste tabs. I have sunscreen. I have a little thing of Vaseline. This will be used, my hands sometimes crack when it's cold out, so just to kind of deal with that if that arises. Also, it can be used for, you know, chafing issues. I've never had success with Body Glide, so I'm not gonna bring Body Glide. So I have Vaseline, and then a little thing of chapstick. I get very chapped lips, and so I knew I was going to need this. And then I actually will be keeping my meds in my toiletry bag, because my toiletry bag will go in my bear can at night, and I am a child and I cannot swallow pills, and so I have some children's ibuprofen, and I will also have some children's loratadine for allergies. All right, next I have my little repair slash first aid kit. In here I do have tweezers and nail clippers, as well as these little tiny scissors. I know that I could have gotten a Swiss Army knife that would have had tweezers and little scissors in them, but I'm already gonna have the neck knife, and the weight of the tweezers and the scissors combined is less than a Swiss Army knife. So I figured, why not have better versions of those than the little crappy versions that come on a Swiss Army knife. Just gonna be real there. I also have a needle in here for repairs or draining blisters if that happens. I've got a couple extra O-rings for my Sawyer in case I lose one, which is very much a possibility. I've got a hand warmer in here in case I need that. I have extra I have Aqua Tabs as backup water treatment. I have alcohol pads, tenacious tape, Leukotape, Neosporin, gauze, a couple Band-Aids, and a cork ball, all in this little bag. So that is my repair and first aid kit. Yeah. And then finally, electronics. This is a hefty portion. I'm just filming on my phone, which is a Google Pixel 7. I'm not taking a camera. I didn't want to deal with the batteries or trying to transfer video from a camera to my phone. That seemed like a lot of work. So I will be using my Pixel 7, which is what I'm filming on right now. And then I have my electronics bag. So I have my Nightcore NU25 headlamp. Great, rechargeable, love that. Didn't want to have to deal with batteries. Has the red light feature, super bright. When I went on my shakedown with Courtney a few weeks ago, she was commenting on how bright this headlamp is. So love that. This will probably stay more accessible than in the Diddy bag, just in case I need it, but that's where it's at right now. Let's see what else we have in here. I do have a set of corded headphones. I will not be taking cordless ones, Bluetooth ones, because I don't want to have to deal with keeping those charged. I have enough things to keep charged. So these are primarily so that I can edit videos without disturbing other people. I may listen to audiobook or music, but typically I don't when hiking. But I do know I will be out there for a very long time, so I may need some other stimulation after a certain point. So those are my headphones. Bit of a controversial piece of gear here. I actually have the Flex Tail Zero pump as a little luxury item. This weighs in with the battery and with the adapter at around 2 ounces. I know that I could blow up my sleeping pad, but one, I don't want to, and two, that can create moisture inside the sleeping pad, which can then cause mold growth. Don't want to deal with that. I could bring the pump sack, but with this being 2 ounces, I'm just gonna take this. I got it as part of like their Indiegogo thing before it was initially released. I have used this 8 times so far and have not had to charge it yet, which I think is pretty great. Um, and so, yeah, that is the flex tail pump. Pumps up my pad so quickly, and yeah, it's my little luxury item. One of them, I guess. I'm sure many of these might be viewed as luxury items to some people. I also have this little gadget here. After watching many people's videos, I know that storage is a recurring issue for people who YouTube their journeys. And I have already been dealing with that just in the lead up to the trail. So I did get this. It plugs into my phone. I have an SD card in here so I can transfer video onto this, just so my phone doesn't get totally filled up, but I also don't want to lose all of that footage. So we will have this. And then I have the Anchor 20,000 milliamp battery bank. I started with a 10,000 and realized that with filming, I probably need a 20,000 milliamp. This is 12 ounces. This is heavy. I acknowledge that, but I have several things to charge. I will have my watch, my phone, my satellite messenger, my headlamp, and my pump for my pad. So that's 5 things to keep charged. Most of those things don't need charging frequently, but I know filming I will burn through battery more than some people. So we went with this. I'm also happy that I switched from the 10,000 to the 20,000 because this 20,000 actually does support Type-C to Type-C charging, which is much quicker. So happy with that gear swap as well. And then I have my charging block. This is also by Anchor. Not the lightest weight one, I'm sure, but charges quickly. It has 2 USB-C ports and a USB, A or whatever port. That flips out. I will have a charging cord for my watch, and then I will have 2 Type-C cords. Everything that I have charges Type-C except for my Zoleo, which is my satellite messenger. And so I did just buy this little adapter that is micro USB to attach to the Type-C, so I can still charge that without having to carry an extra cord. So with that is everything that I will be taking with me on the Appalachian Trail, at least to start. Things could get added. I could add a sleeping bag liner if I find that necessary. I have slept in my quilt down to like 28 degrees and stayed nice and toasty, and that was just in my base layers and not wearing, a mid layer or a puffy or anything else. So I don't feel at this point that I do need a sleeping bag liner, but we can add that if necessary. And then along with that, down booties I don't find necessary. My feet have been very warm every single time that I have camped or backpacked recently, so I don't feel the need to add that. So at this point we aren't adding any more cold weather gear, and especially starting in April, I'm hoping that that's not incredibly necessary. I know it will still be cold in the Smokies. I know I will still see some cold nights, but I'm hoping that I won't need those extra layers of protection there. Let's see. And then once we get further north and it gets warmer, I do have, of course, bug spray and a head net that will be sent to me to keep the critters at bay. So those will be sent. I am treating my gear with permethrin before I leave, and I'm sure there will be opportunities, hopefully, along the trail to retreat my gear, because I do want to be very wary of ticks while I'm out there. So that is everything. That is my gear kit. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'm sure I will hear if anyone thinks that I am ill prepared. need to add anything, think I'm taking too many things, think I have too many luxury items, which I feel pretty confident with my kit. So I haven't weighed my pack just yet because all my gear, last minute items did just come in recently, which is why I'm finally filming this. According to my lighter pack, just by weighing individual items and then putting them in that spreadsheet, right now my base weight is under 16 pounds, which I am happy with. I was really hoping to be under 17 and secretly hoping to be around 15, which I probably would have been if I hadn't switched to the bear can, but I'm okay with that. I think under 16 pounds for a base weight is good. It's still considered lightweight, even if it is not anywhere near ultralight. And my pack feels comfortable. Like I said last week, in 3 days I hiked 26 miles and had a full pack that entire time, had some pointless up and downs, hiked in the rain, and my pack felt great. I had no issues. And so, yeah, I am so excited. We are so close. And I can't wait to take you guys along on this journey. And then also I did post on the community tab, but yeah, we'll be having a Q&A, a live Q&A on Monday. It looks like that's what the poll is saying so far. So you can put any questions that you may have for me, either on that community post or in the comments of this video. If you aren't able to tune in to the live, it should be Monday at 7 p.m. So that is Monday, April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. At 7 p.m. So yeah, I look forward to hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey there, Editing Marissa here. One thing I did forget to mention were just extra layers of water protection for my gear. I do have a Nyloflume pack liner at this moment. I may switch to a compactor bag because I know that those liner bags can have a tendency to bust, so we'll see with that. And then I do also have a dry bag from Hilltop Packs. My clothes will be in there, and it does fit my quilt if I feel like I need that extra layer of protection. I prefer just to stuff my quilt into the bottom of the pack liner because I do feel like it compresses better, but that is an option that I have in case of emergency. All right, and with that, thanks for watching. Bye.